how it helps to give small rewards to teams, because giving to individuals can create resentment. So for those that get a high Buy Green score, they can win our Buy Green Club of the Year award at this ceremony. And to get that award, I tap into our passion for friendly competition, because we all like to keep up with the neighbors, whether we realize it or not. And I create an annual report of who bought green and prohibited products. And so I actually name names, and the report allows us to give green product samples and prizes to people that bought green. So we don't give free, or I don't give free samples anymore, because people only value something if they earn it. And I also it's an opportunity for us to ask staff why they didn't use green products. Maybe it's because they didn't even hear about our website, SF Approved. And I keep the conversation really friendly, because it's not about shaming or blaming anyone yet. And how many of you slow down when you see this sign? I actually met city staff who speeds up just to see how high this sign will go, but most of us slow down. And I like to give this example because I like to ask, how can you steer people now instead of much later to buy the right thing? Sometimes online purchasing software used by some governments can help steer people to buy the green thing right then and there, unlike our annual reports where we find out what people are buying a year later, and by then it's too late. And if I had more time, I would make this way more interactive and try to get your ideas, but I need to move on. And so for now, the way for us to let our city staff instantly see their score online is with the Buy Green scorecard that I made, where you can instantly see your score so you can improve it before you submit it. So that motivates people to be greener before they submit it. And all they have to do are things like remind their team to buy green products from our site. So putting reminders in their order forms, their performance evaluations, or their leases, or putting signs, and attending a meeting with me. And I also give points for people for inviting people that are not curmudgeons. This is really important because I get a lot of curmudgeons and it just can derail the whole conversation. And if you know someone that wants to do something that is not green, what would you say or do, just given some ideas that I've shared from today's talk? Just one person needs to answer and then we can move on. Because this is the most important question that I ask at the end, just to see if anyone liked any of my ideas. So what's one thing that you might do or say? Yes, I like that one. I usually get more boring answers, but I like that one. I give people points for reminding other people to do the right thing. So if they perhaps CC me on an email when they send it to someone who's trying to order the wrong thing, I will give that person points. And then I like to share this example of how one mayor hired mimes to mock jaywalkers. And this was so popular, over 400 mimes were trained. And this is in Bogota. And this is the part where I would ask people for their ideas on how we can all green our community. And because people want to feel like they have some control over what they do. And if they don't, they're just going to do what they're told and not do it well. Or they're just going to feel powerless, and they will make your life difficult if they feel powerless. So it's really important to ask the people that you're trying to change what their ideas are. So since people will pay $5,000, I've heard, to be part of like a platinum credit card, I ask whoever I'm meeting with to name their club. So it creates kind of team building, and I thought I might name your club here. Now that since you've all come here, I'm kind of going to consider you kind of a cohesive group. Hopefully you'll work together to green Hawaii, and maybe you'll want to name your club something like the Club to Make Hawaii Greener Than San Francisco. Get a little friendly competition going. And let me know if you do make it greener than San Francisco. And then I like to end by asking people to place reminders of where they might do the wrong thing. And as we learned earlier in an earlier session, it's great to get a commitment in writing in public. It's much more effective than verbal commitments. So I have these sticky notes to give away. I brought 400 because I was told that's how many people come to this conference. So please take one from me. I don't want to bring them back with me to San Francisco. I have bags full of plastic wrap. And I'd like to ask, what's one green idea you'll try from today's consultation? And then I like to ask people to write it on their pledge and post it by their computer to remind them, and post it on their bulletin board and maybe in your lunchroom to let other people know that you're doing the right thing. And I'll just end with, does anyone know where this is? This is at Bubby's down the street. I brought my own container because to-go-ware. And I know a lot of people say, at least they intend to bring to-go-ware, a reusable bag or mug, but they just forget. So I want to leave you with something that I just made just for this conference, this door hanger, to remind you to turn off your lights, turn off the thermostats, and bring a reusable bag and mug. And so you can get this if you join Facebook or Twitter. Don't worry, I'm not trying to be your Facebook friend. You just have to click like. And also, if you are interested in any of the green products I talked about, I'm giving away it as a raffle to the first 10 that go to this short website, bit.ly/green-hi. And that's where you can ask me questions if you haven't had a chance to talk to me. Get more tips you can use on your boss or kid. Sometimes they're the same person. And I really want to know what you really think of this talk. So this is the website to do it. And lastly, I just really want to thank everyone that helped with this conference. There's so many people that I know put in a lot of time. And I'm most familiar with working with Gail and John, but I know there's many more of you that put a lot of hours putting on this conference. So thank you so much for having me and doing all that you do.